Major League Soccer's yearly player combine represents opportunity for players to make a name for themselves, to earn a shot at their dreams, and for teams to add a crucial piece to the puzzle as they prepare for next season. Last year, Sporting Kansas City made perhaps the best pick in the SuperDraft, landing the eventual Rookie of the Year, and manager Peter Vermees was looking for another successful draft in 2012.
Last year was kind of interesting because everybody expected us to go after defenders because we lost Jimmy Conrad and a few other guys. But we had spent a lot of time looking at C.J. Sapong and really felt that he was a guy that could help us, especially with the way we played. When we go into the draft, it's more about the way we play and who we think is the best player at the time when our opportunity comes up for the position that we're looking for. You know, it's funny, I always hear the same thing every year. The draft is thin, college group is not as good as it was last year and so on. I don't really buy into that stuff. I think that first off, there's college players out there that are going to help form your team. If you look at every team in MLS right now, the basis of every team and the foundation is based on college players. It really is important for all of us to do the best we possibly can, especially our staff, to make sure that we find the players that are out there, the diamonds in the rough.
While Vermees was a veteran of the draft process, first-year New England Revolution head coach Jay Heaps was making his initial appearance at the Combine in his new role and had plenty of work to do.
It's been a game of catch-up and trying to get up to speed where the college is. I follow the college game quite a bit because I've got a lot of friends that are coaches in the college ranks, so I follow it there. But when you really start looking at kind of players you need and what you're looking for, you got to go a little deeper. And that's been Remy Roy, who was a holdover from the last staff, and he really knows the college game well, and he started to fill me in and what I knew and what he knew. And I feel like coming here, we knew a majority, and if not, 80 or 90% of the players out here today.
Another first-year coach, Montreal's Jesse Marsh, was facing similar challenges as he looked to lead the league's newest franchise to a fruitful draft day.
You know, it's been an interesting 4 months, and I think it's been an important 4 months. We've spent a lot of the time now identifying different players, both in the league and around the world, and then within the college game. Between everyone on the staff and our organization, we've actually done quite a good job of keeping track of the college game this season, and now we're using all the data that we've gathered and all the games that we've seen and comparing it with now what we're seeing here this week and trying to come up with a game plan for which guys we think will fit within our team.
Montreal with the first overall selection and New England with the third. Both looked forward to adding one of the top college players in the nation and had already narrowed that list down to a select few.
There's a handful of guys that we really like. Andrew Wenger, he's not here this week, but I went down to the 23 camp and watched him carefully down there. He's a talented player, really good soccer player, good athlete. Met with him down there. He's a really good kid. Think he has great potential. Darren Maddox is here. He's had a good couple of days. All the qualities that we saw in him during this past 2 seasons in college come out here. His speed, his nose for the goal, his ability to make plays that lead to goals.
I think that everyone, he's not here now, but I mean, there's a consensus about Andrew Wenger, and fortunately I'm a Duke guy, so I know him quite well. I've seen a lot of his games over the years. It's easy to do research on him because I just have seen him play live a few times. And there's Darren Maddox, who has just something special, and so you always want to get an eye on him because of what he's done at Akron, his ability as a lone striker.
Luis Silva's, I think, had a very good week, and when you've watched him play through the year, he can play anywhere in the midfield. He's got mobility, he's got soccer sense, he's clever. I think he'll be a successful player in MLS, so that's another guy. And then Kellen Rowe, who is a guy, again, I watched down at the U23 camp, who has had a good week here, and he has a really good soccer brain. He's got an ease at the way he moves around and makes attacking plays, and I think he'll be a successful player in MLS as well.
There's probably 4 or 5 guys that are rated differently throughout the Combine, but you're looking at Enzo Martinez, you're looking at Luis Silva, you're looking at Kellen Rowe. I mean, these guys are no matter where you sit and what you're looking for, they rotate into that top 5, top 6 guys here, top 3, or they can jump to 1 or 2. I mean, any of those players I named can slide all around.
Due to a successful 2011 campaign, Sporting KC's pick was much further down the draft board. But that didn't mean that Vermees was giving up on adding one of those top players to his roster.
There's some thought that maybe we try to trade up to get a higher pick. There's some players that are pretty interesting. Rowe is a kid that has some very good qualities. De Leon is another kid that I think not only his qualities, but the way he plays actually would fit into our system, we think, pretty well. And then it's the art of the deal, right? It's trying to get that deal done. Because it's not, there's a lot of teams that a lot of times when they're in those positions of value to pick, they want to keep them because they also realize that there's some players that could come in and impact their team.
There's a lot flying around when you're here. You know, obviously you've got every team represented with multiple personnel. So there are different discussions that I have, different discussions that Matt has, Nick DeSantis.
We'll continue to evaluate as we go through the rest of this couple of days. But if the opportunity presents itself, we'll definitely try to trade up.
We're visiting this with just about every club and seeing what their interest level is.
Because I'm new to it, and it's something I enjoy being a part of, but Mike is really good at that. He's been around for a while, and so I'm leaning on him for the kind of assessing what it's worth, you know, what market value is for the third pick. It's what is it worth to another team if it's, you know, being pushed. So we're getting some offers here and there, but we're trying to see really what it is, and then is it worth trading away something that we like out here, you know, if there's a player out here that we want.
As you're still working on two tracks and you're still looking at international players and trying to make some other moves with teams in the league and things like that, but I believe that this is the foundation of your team as you move forward. If you can get one guy out of the draft each year that winds up making a serious impact on your team, I think you've done a very good job. If you can wind up getting 2, 3, then now start to form a little bit of a next generation of guys, you're flying.
On the next episode of Inside the SuperDraft,
This is one of the deepest and most talented drafts in a long time.
the Combine rolls on and the player evaluations are finalized.
Everyone seems to be talking about those two players.
The teams move on to Kansas City, ready for the big day.
Well, this is the fun part because we're getting closer and closer now.
Rumors and trade offers are flying as draft day gets even closer on the next episode of Inside the SuperDraft.